Hey there, I'm Tom's Guide Senior Editor Henry D. Casey, and welcome back. In this week's edition of the Tom's Guide streaming show, we continue to tackle that question that eats up spare cycles of our brain. No, not what am I going to eat next, but what the heck am I going to watch tonight? Here at Tom's Guide, we've got our eyes on all the best streaming services, both those that deliver fantastic original shows and the services that offer up live TV for those who cut the cord. This week, we're looking at 3 of the biggest shows coming in August, so you can, mark your digital calendars, and you can make sure that you're prepared for the television to get hotter than... Yeah, Carlos Santana and Rob Thomas were right. It's a hot one. So let's dive right in. First up, we're talking SheHulk. And yeah, I'll get it out of the way first. The CGI for the SheHulk show, that's a she sells by the seashore bit, isn't it? But the CGI for SheHulk is getting a lot of boos. From the first trailers, some think she's not big and brawny enough, and yeah, it might be the problem for those who expected SheHulk to be as large as regular Hulk. She's 6'7", he's 8'2", continuing the gender disparity faster than you can say women's US national soccer team. That said, I'm still hyped for this show, as it stars Tatiana Maslany, who's already proven herself as the ultimate chameleon on Orphan Black. Here, she plays Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk, attorney at law. Walters, Bruce Banner's cousin, is the latest to go through her own origin story on Disney+, as that's the basic gist of every show we've gotten since Hawkeye traded successor. We already know that Mark Ruffalo is showing up to help his sister get used to her powers, so for everyone who wanted more interconnectedness in Moon Knight and Ms. Marvel, that's one out of the way. Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme himself, is also expected. Aside from getting used to becoming a 6'7" green giant, Walters also has to deal with a rival, as The Good Place's Jamila Jamil co-stars as Titania, who's also really strong. Superpowered individuals also extend to the courtroom, as Tim Roth is finally reprising his role of Emil Blonsky, aka Abomination, last seen in Shang-Chi, and that incredible Hulk movie that starred Ed Norton that we all forget about. I'm looking forward to it. I hope everybody gives it a shot, because Ms. Marvel deserves better, and hopefully She-Hulk deserves a strong audience too. Up next is House of the Dragon on HBO Max. I, like many, was over Game of Thrones by the time it ended. Over it. That's partially because of how Daenerys' character was so poorly plotted, and partially because of exhaustion. Fortunately, it seems like the Game of Thrones prequel House of the Dragon looks great enough to bring me and any other people who left back. Yes, for those who are in wait for Succession Season 4, but also like Dungeons & Dragons, you'll be happy to hear that House of the Dragon is definitely focusing on the war for the Iron Throne. Here, we see that the fight for House Targaryen's rule is not going to be a clean one, as the motions are already slated. The topic at the King's Hand is the question of who succeeds King Viserys of House Targaryen is extremely concerning to those around him, especially as his dreams lately are filled with dragons. Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, the firstborn in line, had her name placed in the pot for her, but some, of course, are against it because a woman has never held the Iron Throne before at this point in the Game of Thrones chronology. Things get proper tense as the king's brother, Prince Daemon Targaryen, who is played by Matt Smith, is the other name suggested. It doesn't look like he gets the Iron Throne either. Warring ensues, and with this familial strife, it feels like the old Game of Thrones is back. Paddy Considine looks great as Viserys. Matt Smith looks like he's going to deliver all the venom as Daemon, and both Millie Alcock and Emma Darcy seem like perfect choices for younger and older Rhaenyra, because we got some time shifting here. After the Book of Boba Fett incident, it looks like Star Wars shows got their mojo back, as Obi-Wan Kenobi was really good. This time, Andor stars Diego Luna, last seen playing the role of Cassian Andor in the Star Wars film Rogue One. Andor is a leader in the rebellion and has that charm and sense of cool that you can, build a rebellion around. So it makes sense that, Disney Plus is deciding to, build a show around him. Andor, due on August 31st, is a show that looks like it's going to give that particular sense of optimism that you might need right now. Because this prequel to Rogue One tells the story of the formation of the Rebel Alliance before it took on the Empire, which means that, yes, it's another prequel. Yes, we know where this is going, but I think that's a good thing. It seems like we're going to get a more personal story here. because while many of the cast members are unknown, we do know that Genevieve O'Reilly is reprising the role of Mon Mothma, the galactic senator who is doing the good fight inside the government and on the ground. Stellan Skarsgård plays a brand new character named Luthen, who pretty much screams villain. So because Rogue One Episode 4 and 6 come next, it seems like we'll be able to get to meet the people that actually become and see what it takes to become a member of the Rebel Alliance. Why it was started, what situations brought people there. And I'm particularly excited for Andor because of Obi-Wan Kenobi's best underrated moments, if you ask me. Those scenes with Rockin and Sully and Haja Estri, who were helping Jedi and Force-sensitive individuals flee Order 66, were arguably my favorite moments from the entire series. This could create a show that's a lot more interesting and unique and standalone and not stuck in the sensitive past of Star Wars. Because whenever you recast or when you add more to a character, you risk getting everybody angry. Why not tell a new story? Why not give us something new? Andor, even though it has Andor and Mon Mothma, looks like it could actually give us some of that. Of course, Forrest Whitaker is also back as Saw Gerrera, but nobody says no when Forrest Whitaker is at the table. Also, really excited here because Fiona Shaw is playing a character with a part in the rebellion, and I need something better for her after the Killing Eve final season was not that great. But that means this all ties up to Andor being a potentially great show. At least not as dry as Boba Fett. We got a rebellion here, the start of a rebellion. And that's why Andor is on our list for what you should be checking out in August. So, there you have it. 3 shows new for August 2022 that look pretty good, if not at least interesting. Sure, SheHulk might not look right yet. Maybe the CGI gets better by the time the show comes around. Maybe House of Dragon will be able to convince Game of Thrones expats to give it a second chance. And I mean, I don't think Andor will have much trouble, except for people who didn't see Rogue One. But it's on Disney Plus. You can go watch it now. That's it for this week. I'm Henry T. Casey from Tom's Guide. Check out tomsguide.com for all of our streaming coverage, including our roundups of all the big shows coming in August, and movies that are leaving Netflix, and a recap of where the big streaming services are and if any of them are worth canceling this month. I'm Henry T. Casey for Tom's Guide, signing off.